There are all kinds of benefits to specificity in your writing. Hi, if you're just joining us, my name's Tom Levine. I'm an award-winning author with novels out at imprints of Random House and Simon & Schuster. I'm also a Bram Stoker Award finalist, and I've written for the comic book Spawn, and this is Let's Write Together. Picking up right where we left off, I've started working on this story that was inspired by two photos that I picked up randomly from Unsplash and Pexels. You can see that on the website at fictionmentor.com, as well as see where we're going with the story. Now, real quick, in case you're watching this on the video, you can see I've sort of blanked out a lot of the text. That's because I'm still investigating whether or not publishing the entirety of this story will prevent us from trying to publish it with a traditional publisher later on, because that would suck. So I don't know at this point whether or not I will be able to show you the entire novel. That's my plan, but we gotta see what some of our options are. But today I just want to point out a couple of things that I've already put in. We're at 606, just over 600 words so far, which, if you're doing NaNoWriMo, if you're doing National Novel Writing Month, that's a really bad start. We should be on day 4, we should be up at the 4,500 to 5,000 mark, somewhere in there, but that's okay. You work at your pace, I'll work at mine. Let's just make sure we finish the novel. Today, really briefly, I want to talk about something just to think about as you're starting the book, specifically Chapter 1, and that is planting seeds. One of the things I find myself doing and that I like to do as intentionally as possible is plant seeds in Chapter 1 that I can go back and cultivate later on during revision. I may not, but I like to put them there just so that I know they're something to play with. Two examples here on the first page of whatever book this is. I should probably come up with a title so we can start referring to it. This is the first page, and here is a couple of sentences I wanted to look at. The first one is this. Emily rolled over so she was on her back looking up at me. Without her glasses, I couldn't tell if she was seeing my face clearly or not. Now, the glasses idea came to me because if you look at the photo in sort of normal resolution, you can't really tell. But if you zoom in on the photo of the girl at the carnival, you can just barely see that she's wearing glasses. They're very thin, but she is wearing glasses. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and include that in the story. Why? I have no idea. For no other reason than for right now, we just want word count. So I'm just cramming everything into this first page, into this first chapter, as I possibly can. It may be that later on throughout the story, I'm going to come back to the glasses, and maybe the glasses are a metaphor. You know, maybe there's some kind of thematic thing going on. Maybe she doesn't like to wear her glasses because her character is such that she doesn't want to see the real world. She doesn't want to see things for as they are. Ooh, that's so deep and profound, right? That's a possibility. Or maybe things are going to get really tense at some point. They're going to be in a great big chase sequence, and she won't have her glasses, and without her glasses, she can't see, you know, what the combination lock is to the thing that she needs to get into to stop the bomb, you know, or whatever. I don't know. We're making this up as we go. But now I have Emily wearing glasses, and she clearly can't see very well without them. That might become a plot point. That might become a thematic thing again. I don't know. Or maybe I'm going to get to the end of the book and then go back to revise it and go, oh my god, I forgot she wore glasses, and then we'll just delete it and we'll just cut it out. No big deal. The point is, that's been planted, and now I can come back and revisit it throughout the story as I'm working on it. So plant these things in there. Let your mind wander. Just plant weird things. She only wears black shoes. He hasn't cut his hair in 20 years. I don't know. Why? We don't know. It's a seed. You plant it, and you just keep on rolling. Here's another one. Same page. She fumbled for them, meaning her glasses. She fumbled for them on the antique nightstand inherited from her Grandma Pearl. Seriously, she had a Grandma Pearl. Who'd have thunk? Her specs were big, round, and framed with thin gold. She blinked at me as her eyes focused. Okay, the Grandma Pearl thing. Now I need to rework it because it's not clear what it is that our narrator thinks is interesting about Grandma Pearl. It's supposed to be, like, Grandma Pearl is such a, like, what's the word I'm looking, not ironic, trite, typical, stereotypical. It's a stereotype. Grandma Pearl is a stereotype. But no, in this case, she actually had a Grandma Pearl. It's crazy, don't you think? It's not very clear that that's what my narrator is saying, so I'm going to have to go in and clean that up later. But that's not the point. For today, my point is that the narrator is taking time out of her day and out of our day to talk about Grandma Pearl. Why? I don't know. Maybe Grandma Pearl will come in later. Maybe Grandma Pearl is part of a big mystery that we're going to start getting into later on in the story. I don't know. Maybe the antique nightstand will be important later on. I have no idea, but it is a seed, just like Emily not being able to see well without her glasses. The other thing I want to point out about this, while I've got your attention, is that it's not just a nightstand. It's an antique nightstand inherited from her Grandma Pearl. This is a detail. This is a specific thing. I want you to start dealing in specificity. Not only is that going to help you get your word count up for something like NaNoWriMo, but again, you're planting seeds with it, and it gives more depth to the scene, to the characters. It reveals things. It can be a plot point. It can reveal more about our characters. There's all kinds of things. There are all kinds of benefits to specificity in your writing. Now, you don't have to do it for every single little thing. You don't have to, go into great amounts of detail about the carpet and the texture on the wall and the color of the wall and when it was built and the texture of the carpet or the, whatever. You can, but you don't have to. Trust your gut, trust your instincts on which things to kind of focus on and which things not to, but think about being specific. One of the examples I've used previously is shoes. I try to focus on shoes a lot because our shoes say a lot about us. There's a world of difference between someone who wears Converse and someone who wears high heels. Those are very, very different shoes. Think about it. And they're for very, very different purposes. So even in the land that I operate in, which is sort of this, punk, goth, emo, scene kid, I don't know what the latest iteration of that is, but those kids, there's a difference between wearing 20-hole lace-up boots or Docs for that matter versus low-top Converse. Those are very different things, very specific scenes that you're getting into, versus Vans, versus, whatever. So those details and those specifics can matter. Be thinking about them. Try to incorporate them as you're writing your first draft. Just let it flow, let it happen. If you find in revision that you haven't included a lot of detail, then revision is a great place to do that. So we've got Emily with her glasses and Emily's Grandma Pearl. Don't know where that's going to go. Maybe somewhere, maybe nowhere, but now they are there for me to play with. Be thinking about those things, all right? So that's all we've got for today. Please make sure and go to the website fictionmentor.com and subscribe to the newsletter where you will immediately receive 7 things your plot needs. There are 7 things your plot absolutely needs, and I will send it to you as a PDF as soon as you sign up, so make sure you do that right away. All right? Thank you very much. Make sure you keep writing, and we'll see you tomorrow.